It is too early in the morning. I may be a morning person, but even this is too early for me. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's get started. I've been awake for like a little over than 15 minutes. This is what happens when you fall asleep with wet hair. So, that's lovely. Alright. I have to get dressed, ready to go, and feed my dog and go. And I'm sick, so I make great life choices. I'm going on a road trip today and tomorrow. 2 separate road trips. And I'm sick. Actually, I'm feeling better this morning already, so that's good news. I'm nowhere near as congested as I was, so maybe I'm on the mend. I don't get sick very often, so this is weird. Last, I don't know, probably 6 years or so, I've not gotten sick a ton. Especially over the last 3. Like, I haven't gotten sick. And if I have, it's been like, I'm a little sniffly for a couple of days and then it's gone. Because I've got quite the immune system these days, which is great. But when I do get sick, it's like Armageddon. So, the last few days have been great. Well, good morning there, Van.
What are you doing, weirdo? What you doing, weirdo? He's like, it's way too early for you to be up. What's the light doing on? I don't understand what's going on.
Cosmo's still just asleep. I don't blame you, buddy. How are you doing? And Tara looks like she's sleeping. Nodley. So we're going back to where I grew up, because that's where my grandma, both my grandparents on my mom's side, are buried, as well as my aunt and a few other people that I know, and I'll visit their graves too. But yeah, and so I have to drive by myself because of Cosmo. I was hoping that a friend could come and take him out and feed him, but I'm just not going to trust that. So, I mean, I trust my friends, but nobody has answered. So I'm not going to trust that somebody's going to answer. And I'm just going to come back home early because everybody else is going to stay till after dark to see the lights. So hopefully my mom will take a video for me so that I can share that on my vlog as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave. We're leaving here in the next few minutes, and we're gonna drive up there. And then I'm thinking on my way home, I may take you guys on a better tour than I did last time I was in town, which was years ago, and I was kind of in a hurry. So I'll take you guys on a little tour about where I grew up. We'll be in Cross Lake, which is where my grandparents lived, and where I went to karate. And then I lived in Breezy Point, take you through Breezy Point. I'll take you through Pequot Lakes, which is where I went to high school, and Nisswa, which is where my first job was. Not technically my first job, but my first like real job. And then it's a long story, and at some point it'll probably be a story time because it was kind of a messed up situation. But, and then take you guys into Baxter, which is also where I lived, and then maybe Brainerd. I don't know. I'm gonna see if the Tim Hortons is still open there. Probably not, because most of them have closed. Anyway, let's go. I'm not gonna eat breakfast here. We're eating breakfast there. Oh, I should probably turn off this light so that Van isn't too bugged by the light. So, and a kitty cat can go back to sleep, and a Duger can go back to sleep. Oh, I have to take Cosmo a potty before we leave. Already getting the light out. It's almost summer. Still can't see me very well. But yeah, it's almost getting light. It's like light out now. Ugh. That is wild. So hopefully, Cosmo a potty, I gotta feed him too. And feed the cat. Luckily the geckos don't have to eat today. Geckos don't eat every day. Neither do frogs. It is almost time to feed Nodley again though. So, gotta get those baby mice! I feel like a horrible person. And Cosmo just came inside. There he is. So I've been trying, like I said before, I've been trying the dry food and wetting it down, and she seems to be doing okay on that, so that's good news. It's gonna be a lot less expensive. So I've got here. I need to fill my water bottles. All 5 of them are currently completely empty. So I was supposed to do that yesterday, but yesterday was a sick day. Yesterday I just kind of laid down on my couch all day, slept for a little bit, and ended up going to the minute clinic just to make sure I didn't have an ear infection. I don't, which is good. It's just I have a problem that happens in my ears whenever I do get sick. So anyway, it's just a matter of maintaining the problem. Anyway, I'm gonna feed my cat and my dog, and then we're gonna get going. I usually like to have this mixture sit for a little bit, but unfortunately I don't have that luxury today. So we're just gonna put it down that way, and she can eat it when she's ready to eat it. Duger, come here. Come here. Where's your wobbler? Can you find it? Can you find your wobbler for me? Where's your wobbler? I don't know where it is. Can you find it? Cosmo, look. 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 Where's your wobbler? Where is it? Touch. Touch. Come on, go touch. Cosmo, come on. Go touch. What is your problem? You can go touch. Go touch. Why are you being weird about going and touching it? Come on. Good boy. It's about friggin' time. So there's been a slight plan change. I guess we're doing all of the graves today instead of the other graves tomorrow. So it's gonna be a long day. Anyway, so you guys get to see all of the graves today, and I'll put the video tomorrow.
How may I help you?
Hi, can I get a McGriddle? Is there anything aside from like for sides, aside from like hash browns?
No.
Okay, then I'll just get the sandwich, the McGriddle sandwich. So we stopped for gas, and before you come for me, yes, of course, I understand that I'm not supposed to get back in my car. Okay. But the plans may have changed again, and we may actually be doing the other graves tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen today. So we're just gonna play this by ear. Ugh, this is such a long drive. But yeah, so we're getting gas. I needed gas, like real bad. I needed gas. But yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to take you guys on some fun adventures this weekend. I mean, no matter what, we're visiting all of the different graves. But I just don't know if we're visiting them all today, or visiting just the ones in Cross Lake today, and then visiting my other aunt that passed away before my mom was even born tomorrow, as well as all of the other graves. So my great-grandparents on my mom's side, my grandfather on my dad's side, and my 3 times great-grandparents on my mom's dad's side, the family that came here from Poland. So I don't know what to do. I gotta pay attention to when my gas is done. I think it's done. And here we are. Looks like somebody beat us here. It looks like my Aunt Debbie beat us here. This is the cemetery. Why are we going? Okay. Apparently we're going in this one, which is weird. We should be going in that one, but woo! We have arrived.
Did she leave that here all with her?
No, Mark has already been here.
So this is done now.
Well, I don't know. They're going to get some more travertine tiles, I guess.
Oh, because it's broken.
And then Barb got some stone wash, but
Yeah, this looks like.
we need to sweep it away is what we need to do. Just sweep it.
Boy, the concrete just got so dark, didn't it?
Yeah, this one did too.
Yeah.
It should be whiter. I guess Mark and that are on their way, so.
What?
They're on their way.
But they're so pretty. I remember that time that we, a couple of years ago now, we went down one of these hardware stores here on that main road. Had a giant one like that. I mean, the thing was like this big.
Oh, really?
It was like $1,000. I mean, it was like, like.
That is so my grandfather.
We don't know where it is. We don't know where they are.
Got the flags. Maybe he's waiting for the people to play.
Oh, he was parked right there for a while.
Oh, he was?
So I don't know. I have no idea. I did not see that. Well, Barbie will change it when she gets here, so.
Oh, that's nice actually.
But
They did last year?
but you know what? First responders are supposed to be considered in the same light, too. Yeah.
And that was the answer I think Mom got.
Well, then that's
He's
fine.
a first, yeah,
Put
he's
our
a
flag
first
there.
responder.
If they don't, we'll put a flag.
The flag will be there all year long. Because that, I mean,
That's it. We're done. We have no more stuff.
that's right. When we kept going down to the Ace Hardware, they kept giving us all these flags. Did they? Yeah, last year,
What?
A lot after Aladdin.
Me
Came
too.
out yesterday in theaters.
I know. I want to see it too.
Like a lot.
Beautiful.
Me
Your
too.
sweatshirt just reminded me of that.
So this is Drew Shadeen. She graduated high school with my sister. She was abducted, raped, and murdered. And so now she's buried here. It's very sad. She was so very young. And then up here is my uncle, Steve, who died from MS in 2017. He's buried here because he's on my dad's side, but he's buried here because his oldest moved here with his wife, and now his middle kid lives here too. So yeah, I miss my Uncle Steve. Technically he wasn't my uncle anymore. Yeah, my aunt divorced, but he'd always be my uncle, and he was my godfather. So I miss my Uncle Steve. Okay, so we're done at this cemetery. So now we are going to head to the flea market that is here every Memorial Day weekend in Cross Lake. And it was one of Grandma's kind of favorite things to do, was go to the flea market when they lived here. And then we're gonna go on a tour around the Brainerd Lakes area. I'm gonna hit all the spots that I frequented when I was here, when I lived here. So long ago now. More than 10 years. It's been more than 10 years since I've lived here, which is wild. My rosacea's getting bad because it's cold here. It's only 56, but like, it's just very cold for my rosacea. So I apologize for my red face. One of these buildings used to be a gift shop called Bucksnort. And I always laughed at that because it was called Bucksnort. Anyway, here's the flea market.
Okay, so now I'm thinking it's kind of funny. So, what are our 3 things?
So we're done at the flea market. What I'm kind of thinking is we'll drive maybe around Cross Lake and then drive into Breezy Point, then drive into Pequot, then we'll drive into Nisswa, and I'm gonna have some lunch when we're in Nisswa. I've heard that A&W, which there is one in Nisswa unless it's gone, has the Beyond Meat burger, and I really like that burger. And I'm trying to eat a little more plant-based, and there's no soy in that burger, so that's good, because that's the one problem with me going plant-based is it's hard for me to eat plant-based because I can't have soy. But yeah, so I think that's gonna be the new plan. And then we'll drive, I'll take you guys around Nisswa, and then Brainerd and Baxter and Brainerd. Basically, I'm gonna just mess around until my parents are ready to drive, because I guess we're still doing our thing. Going to Wadena and Verndale and Piers and Bolus. There we go. All the towns. And then probably later today we're gonna, or tomorrow or something, I don't know, it's a lot closer to home. It's in Bloomington. But we're gonna go to visit my friend Terry's grave. Our friend Terry's grave. And it'll be good. Anyway, so that's the plan. So I'm gonna leave this place and we're gonna go around Cross Lake. So the tour actually starts right here, right outside of the flea market, where these boat lifts are right here. That actually used to be where my grandfather had his car, his mechanical garage. He was a mechanic for a good portion of his life. But yeah, so this is where his garage was. And then as we drive down here, this driveway, this is actually where my grandparents' house used to stand. So they used to live right behind the garage. They burned down the house back when they left. And then here's the cemetery right up here. I don't know how much they've changed back here, so I mean nothing seems to have changed, but theoretically I should know what I'm doing and know where I'm going. We'll find out together, hopefully. I'm pretty sure we're on the right track because I just went by County Road 36, which I know, so I think all of this is still the same, this road. I mean, they haven't built anything, so I can't imagine. Oh, that's new. Oh, that's the church. That's the church that Grandma and Grandpa used to go to, but it wasn't there. They built a new church, but it's the same like church, the same Catholic church that they went to when they lived here. Yeah. The Brainerd Lakes area is quiet. Oh, here we go. Here's Reed's. Okay, we're good. I know exactly what I'm doing. So right up here is Ace Hardware and then Reed's Market, which is where my grandma would go do her grocery shopping. And, but yeah, so this is all newer development back here. Reed's has been here for a long, long time, but this was all like woods back when Reed's was built back here. So there's Reed's Market. It's like just a little tiny family-owned grocery store. And then this is where we're heading into downtown Cross Lake now. But yeah, so then there's Judy's House of Gifts. We would go there a lot. We knew the owner, actually. I went to school with her granddaughter. Let's go this way. I don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh. So many things happening. I mean, it's pretty normal this time of year. This is the first weekend that people are up here, but then this is downtown Cross Lake, which is lots of fun. I like Cross Lake. Cross Lake is a good town. I mean, it's where I pretty much grew up, so I know this area very, very well. Yes, this is downtown Cross Lake. I don't know what they're building up here. This is new. Oops, let's not turn. We're not turning. Pine Peaks, this is a place that I would go a lot for food. It's just a really terrible diner, but you know. There's a new town square too that was built not too long ago. Oh, this is the community school now. Oh, interesting. That's new. That's a new thing. This is actually where the Catholic Church used to be, was right here. And then this is the post office. Grandma and I would go to this post office all the time. We'd run errands together, and she and I would go to that post office. But yeah, there's so many things that were that just brings so many memories. Coming up here was one of the places that I went to karate. I went to the same karate school the entire time, but he kept changing location. Maybe not. Maybe I'm a little behind still. Oh, you know what? I think I am. That's been an ice cream store forever. Up here, this is definitely no longer Jay's, but this building right here with the garages, that used to be a movie store. And I don't know if it was actually called Jay's or if I just called it Jay's, because the guy who owned it was Jay. There's Zorba's Pizza. Zorba's Pizza is actually really good. If you're ever in Minnesota, hit up Zorba's Pizza anytime you see one, because it's actually pretty good pizza. But yeah, so many things. That's abandoned now. Here we go. This is where it was. Okay, so behind this Dairy Queen, you go down. Oops, Dairy Queen. You go down this hill. Somewhere. They must have gotten rid of it. Oh wow, it's gone. It's like this old warehouse thing, and he just put his karate school in there for a little while, but it's all gone. There were 4 different locations when I was part of that karate school. There were 4 different locations where that existed. So, and now none of them are used as his karate school. But I'll show you the other one, the other 2 that I can show you, and then the other one was torn down because it's this little tiny like house thing. Anyway, so here's City Hall, and it was inside City Hall. That like area right there was where karate was when I first got into karate. So that's where it was. And then the second place is the one that's torn down. But yeah, so this is Cross Lake, still Cross Lake. We're gonna get to Manhattan Beach Lodge, and then I'll turn around and head back towards Breezy Point. It was somewhere in here in these woods right here by the lake. Obviously this is the lake, but somewhere in these woods by the lake where that other one was, but I just don't remember where that is anymore. Wish I could remember where exactly it was, but it was somewhere along here on the in the woods along the lake, because the house that was actually like, because it was like it's hard to explain, but it was like a little tiny 1-room building, but there was like a main house, and the house was where we had to go to the bathroom, but the house was on the lake. So it's somewhere around here. Here's Moonlight Square. There's a set of gas stations in this area that are all squares. So that's Moonlight Square. I live by Pelican Square, and then there's also, I think it's College Square, and that's in Baxter by one of the houses that I used to live at. And I'll show you all 3 houses that I lived at if I can find one of them. They moved one. That's why we had to move out of it. It was probably like right in this general vicinity. These are all newer houses, so I bet you it's like in this vicinity. But anyway, but yeah, they moved one of the houses. That's why we had to move out of it, was because they had to move it because they were going to build a road right over it. So they moved it. So I'll see if I can remember where it is. I'll see if I can remember. We're coming up on Moonlight Bay. On Manhattan Beach Lodge. My friend Christina used to live up on that hill on the lake, and we're in Manhattan Beach now, and right up here is Manhattan Beach Lodge, which it's kind of a funny story because Manhattan Beach Lodge is supposedly haunted. Parts of it are haunted. They've built new parts of it, but I think it's the villas that are haunted. But yes, this is Manhattan Beach Lodge. And then to get to my friend Christina's house, we would take the road that I just crossed, but the road that I'm just now coming up to, that's how we would get to my friend Christina's house when she lived here. They don't live here anymore, but yeah, up that road right there. Yeah. I think she still lived here when I was driving, because I think I remember driving here to her house. I don't remember. Anyway, let's head back towards Cross Lake. Well, Cross Lake is right here. So this is just on the cusp of Cross Lake and Manhattan Beach. Yes, let's head back into Cross Lake and then towards Breezy Point. So because this area is so tiny, I mean, it's a big area, but like population-wise, it's tiny. I may want to explain how the Brainerd Lakes area works. I've done this in videos in the past, but I thought I'd just explain it. So Cross Lake is where my grandparents lived, and it's where my mom grew up, was here in Cross Lake. And Cross Lake is part of the Pequot Lakes School District. So anybody who lives in Cross Lake generally will go to Pequot Lakes High School, unless there's some other random excuse why they wouldn't. So I lived in Breezy Point. So when we first moved here, we actually moved in with my grandma and grandpa for a little while. And we established ourselves, and then we got a house in Breezy Point, Minnesota. And I went to school in Pequot Lakes. And then when my parents split up for a short time, my mom and I lived in Baxter, 3 different houses in Baxter because we rented, and one of the houses sold, and then the other house had to be moved, and then the other house we just moved out of because my parents reconciled. And so my mom and I lived in Baxter, and my dad had moved down to Bloomington at that point, so that's why we all live in Bloomington now. But yeah, so then there's all kinds of towns in between, but the only ones that I really have any like attachment to, aside from those 3, is between Baxter, Pequot, Cross Lake, and Breezy Point are Brainerd, which is right next to Baxter, and then Nisswa, which is between Pequot Lakes and Baxter. So we're going to hit up all those places, and I'm going to show you guys all my favorite little places, all my little favorite things about those places, and the things that I would do, and the fun that I would have, and yeah, this is fun. I wish I would have had somebody with me so I could tell these stories and not just to my phone, but you know, whatever, it's fine. So then right here, this building right here where it says space release, that was the last place that my karate school was at before it moved to its current home. As a matter of fact, last time I took you guys on a tour on my main channel, I actually went to the karate school right there. I might drive and see if Master Nelson is at his karate school today, but who knows. But we're about to leave Cross Lake now because we're back to where my grandparents' garage used to be. So just went on a big old circle around Cross Lake, let me just tell ya. All right, let's go to Breezy Point now. So that corner that we just went around, there is this house. And apparently my mom knew the people that used to live there. But it has been deteriorating since I was a kid. And I was thinking maybe they'd finally just gotten rid of all of it, but no. It's all still there, just a pile of lumber on the ground now, and it's just been slowly deteriorating since I was a kid. It's wild. Absolutely wild. Anyway, so we're on our way to Breezy Point, which is where I grew up. It's where I would say that my home is. Like if I had to pick one town to be my home, I would probably pick Breezy Point. Just because it's where I actually grew up. We bought the house when I was 4 or 5, something like that. And my dad sold the house when I was 16. So like it's definitely where I grew up. I would love to like just go knock on the door of my old house and be like, I used to live here. Can I just like see my old house? I don't know if that'd be weird. I know the address, so I've thought about writing them and being like, hey, next time I'm in town, which will be this date, I would love a chance to come and see my old house that I grew up in. I promise I'm not a murderer. But yeah, so I love that house, and it's completely different because it was for sale not too long ago. Like I guess it's been a while now because it's 2010, I think, was the last time it was for sale. Maybe, because it was. Because it was, I think it was the year, I don't remember, but it was for sale, and we were looking at the pictures online, and it's totally different. My room no longer exists. My bedroom is a memory. So, it'd be weird to walk into that house now, though. Seeing it just be completely different. Jesus. that eagle's nest has been there since I was a kid too. So we are coming into Breezy Point. Primetime restaurant right here. Primetime Charlie's. That's a place that we used to eat at a lot. But yeah, so these are like storage things. There's also like an airport coming up. I said that like it's a question, but it's kind of like an airport. It's not like a real airport, but it's technically an airport. It's like private planes only. So this is the airport right here. I film as I'm driving by the police station. But yeah, so here's the airport right here. And then right up here is Pelican Square. Like I was telling you guys about the squares. Pelican Square is coming right up here. It's not this first one. It's actually down the hill a little bit on the other side of this stop sign we're coming up to. But yeah, so this is Pelican Square. Right here. And I think we're going to drive through the resort. So let's go and drive through the resort. So the Breezy Point Resort is actually where I spent a lot of my time because I was not able to bike on the highway. So if I ever wanted to go to Pelican Square, if I ever wanted to go to Pelican Square, I would just bike through the resort. Don't tell my parents. Actually, my parents are well aware that I used to do that. They didn't know at the time, but like as an adult, I've been like, so you know, I would go to Pelican Square all the time, right? I'm like, no, you didn't. You weren't able to drive on 4. And I was like, yeah, I would just go through the resort and then cross at 4. I don't know. That's fine. So here's the actual resort now. It's got its own water tower and everything. Right up here. Yeah. So a lot of things have started on fire in the Breezy Point Resort. So this has started on fire, the lobby. The marina started on fire once. And then the Foss House, I think, started on fire once. But yes, this is the new marina. And then this is the current lobby. We're gonna... There are a lot of haunted stories that come out of Breezy Point. I lived in a haunted house. And on Halloween, I think Halloween's on a Thursday. Anyway, the week of Halloween, my mom and I are planning either a wine story time or a mukbang, we're not sure yet. But we're going to tell you guys the stories of all the haunted experiences we've had in Breezy Point, Minnesota. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's pay attention to the road. Oh, I would also go down this way too when I was on my bike, and my parents didn't know to go to the causeway. But I'm not going to drive on the causeway because that's such an awkward thing because it's like a dead end, and so it's really awkward when you're driving. But yeah. So right up here is the chapel. This is actually where I was allowed to bike to, was the chapel. I was not supposed to bike any further than that. So I'm going to take you guys on, I'm just going to keep this going to show you guys where I would bike and how long it would actually kind of take. But it'll be long. It'll be fast forwarded. So go! And then here we are, kind of. So at my house, I'm gonna park so we can chat a little bit. Oh my gosh, and they're there too. I see them there. I see their car. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you can actually see the house now. Oh wow. So right down there is the house I grew up in. How crazy is that? Oh my gosh, it's so weird. You used to not be able to see the house from the road because the hill, they killed the hill a little bit. The hill used to be a lot taller, and there used to be these pine trees at the edge of the driveway, and they were our family trees because there were 4 of them, and there was 2 big ones and 2 little ones, and so they were our family trees. Man, they really landscaped the yard. It's not, that was never Mom's plan. Mom never wanted that yard to be landscaped. Oh my gosh, that's the house I grew up in.
be really sad.
Okay, let's go because it's weird. This is a swamp. We called it the Screaming Swamp because there's like a ton of bullfrogs that live in that swamp. And it would just be this really loud croaking during mating season. But yes, so this is the other part of Breezy Point. So this is where we would have gone straight, where we ended up turning right into the resort. This is the power plant. But yeah, so this is the other part of Breezy Point that I didn't show you. And all these little tiny houses right here. My aunt and uncle actually my dad's youngest sister, and her husband almost bought a house in that little neighborhood. And then, and then this is the golf course that was right at the beginning of the resort. But right here is the intersection that we were at, and we turned. You can see the balls for the airport to let the planes know where the power lines are at. And then right up here is Pelican Square again. But yeah, so now we're gonna turn left and head into Pequot Lake. So let's do that. This is where my sister got married, right here. It's another restaurant that I would always frequent with my family. My sister's first job was right here on the corner. It no longer exists. It's now a clinic. But it used to be a red barn that was horse trails. It was owned by Breezy Point Resort, but it used to be right there on the side. Here's the hockey center. That's where we would go and ice skate. Friends I had used to live down this road right here, Nickel Road. Right here, there used to be a farm that Grandma wanted to buy. We were going to have it be a hobby farm, her and I. And then on this side is the elementary school. Now, I went to Pequot Lakes High School, or Pequot Lakes School, K through 12, and I did not go to that elementary school. Back when I was there, matter of fact, it was my senior year that school opened, but my school was K through 12 until my senior year of high school. And now it's just a middle school and a high school, and then there's the elementary school right there. We are now officially in Pequot Lakes. We just crossed, because the Eagle View Elementary is like right on the coast. So yeah, but yeah, I never went to that elementary school. I only ever went to Pequot Lakes. So anyway, you know, fun times. The next thing I want to show you guys is actually a building that my parents built. I mean, they had builders build it, but you know, my parents owned the building, which was kind of cool. It is one of the coolest buildings in Pequot Lakes, and it's a legacy, and now it'll be there forever because now it's the City Hall, which my parents are pretty proud of. But yeah. Oh my God, I see the bomber! We're in Pequot! This is all new because they've redone 371, which is the highway that used to go through Pequot Lakes, and now it bypasses Pequot Lakes. So this has gotten a little complicated. It's weird because now this is 371, where 371 used to be up ahead of us. So I don't even know necessarily how to get to Nisswa at this point because of 371, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. I'm thinking we'll figure it out. Oh my goodness, all these roundabouts just to freaking get into Pequot Lakes. Okay, here we go. We're in town now. But yeah, so that's all new because they just redid. I mean, not just, it's not brand new. I mean, it's been around for a while. All right, so here comes up here this building that looks like the White House. It's supposed to be a colonial because my mother was obsessed with colonial houses. But that was their factory, shipping, and gift store back when I was a kid. Not a kid, because I think I was like 11, I suppose. But when they owned their candle company, that was their second location. And here's the city of Pequot Lakes. I have such like a place in my heart for this city. Anyway, I love this city. Now this is called Patriot Avenue. Oh, I suppose because of the school. That's weird. It's called Patriot Avenue now. This used to be 371. This cross street used to be 371, and now it's called Patriot Avenue. Not okay. But yeah, so we're gonna go this way first. That's a Dollar Tree now. That used to be a grocery store called NFK, Northern Food King. Right here, Our Savior's Lutheran Church. This is the church I went to when I was a kid. It's the church I grew up in. And then we'll come down this direction, but we gotta turn around because we're going the opposite direction as the school right now. But this is just a very old part of town right here. Merritt Jewelers, that's where I bought my very first sapphire necklace. I was really proud of myself because that for a long time was the most expensive thing I owned. And now my car is the most expensive thing I own. And I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm just driving around thinking that I know what I'm doing. And I might, because I think I turned at the right spot that I actually know how to get back to where I was. Because I think this is back where that girl that I used to live with that didn't pay her bills. I think this is going in the direction where she used to live, maybe. No, I don't know. Either way, I know how to get around People Lakes. I'm not concerned about it. This mural was actually painted because our governor at the time was coming, and we wanted to beautify the city, and they haven't touched it up like at all, so now it looks like a crappy mural. It was really pretty when they first painted it, but now it's a crappy looking mural because if you look close enough you'll see like it's just faded. But yeah, so that's, you know, there's that. All right. That's a safe way now. Turn here. So coming up here is the school. We're pulling into the center of it. So this side over here used to be the elementary. Now it's the middle school. Now this is the district office and the start of the high school. And then the playground used to be down over here. It just feels and looks so different now. Oh my gosh. Look at all this differentness. Oh my gosh. Well, the baseball diamond is still there. But yeah, so all that used to be where we play. And then this like jut out right here. This was a wing that was built. It's the music wing, and so that's like where the band and the choirs all are. I don't know if it's still where they are, but that was what the plan was. And then they built the gym after I left. This is quite a few years old now though. But yeah, then the theater is that tall part right back there. But then this gym, and my parking spot used to be where the gym is right now, and it makes me sad that it's the way that it is. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. All right, we're gonna figure out how to get to Nisswa, and I'm gonna have a burger, and then we're gonna go to my cousin. We're actually gonna change our plans a little bit. We're gonna go back to Cross Lake because I'm gonna go to my cousin's house because my cousin invited me over. So I'm gonna still go get a burger, but we're gonna go to my cousin's house after that, and then hopefully go through Brainerd and Baxter. But I don't know if that's actually gonna happen anymore. But we'll see. We'll see what occurs. So when they built the new water tower, which is right over here, you'll see it, it's red and white. When they built the new water tower, people lost their freaking mind. Because we liked the fact that we had a bobber tower. That our tower looked like a bobber in the water. And now they've painted it red and white. I mean, that's also the school colors, but like, they painted it red and white so it looked like a bobber. Because apparently people have just never let it go. I wouldn't either. So this used to be 371 when I'm driving on, so I don't know if this actually takes me to Nisswa anymore or not. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out together. Bypass and turn lane. All right. I don't know. Can we get onto 371 from here? Where is 371 from here? I know I can see 371 from here because I know that my very first job ever should be on this road. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. So that's actually where my first job ever was in that little complex right there. It no longer, I guess it is still a daycare, but yeah, it was my first job ever. I won't count my first real job, but my first real job was in Nisswa. What's funny is I have done this since they built this. So I knew I could get to 371 from the old 371, Patriot Avenue. But I still knew, and I don't like it. I don't like change. I don't like change. And this is change. Because 371 should not be a double lane right now. It should be a double lane after Nisswa. Actually, at Nisswa is when it became a double lane. So this is where things are completely different now. Because there used to be a stoplight literally right here, and you could turn to get into town right here. And it's not there anymore. So now the stoplight is up ahead. Oh my gosh, my old real job. I just saw the sign for my first real job ever. I'm tempted to go and eat there because I haven't eaten there since I quit / got fired. Long story. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. I still want to eat at the A&W though. I don't know why they made it harder to get into Nisswa. I'm sure Nisswa couldn't have been thrilled about it, but there was another place I could have turned, but I didn't see it until I was at that spot. This is the first time I've actually come into Nisswa since they changed everything. Just because if I come into Nisswa, it's usually from Breezy, and I came in through Pequot, so. But yeah, so this is the first time I've done this. Let's go see if the A&W is still here, and if not, then we'll go to Ganley's for lunch. I'm sure the same guy doesn't own it anymore. So here's Nisswa. There used to be a card place up on the second floor up there that I would go and get all my Pokemon cards from. And here's Ganley's restaurant. This was my first ever real job. And then just a couple of doors down, this Plaid Buffalo, that used to be where my mom had her gift shop, and I would help her out. So I mean, that was also technically a job, but it wasn't one of my first, it wasn't a real job. And then up here's the Chocolate Ox. That's where we'd always get our candy from. And Nisswa is busy. Shocker. Rafferty's Pizza. That's another good place to get pizza. Again, if you're ever in Minnesota, especially the Barren Lakes area, that's a good place for the pizza. And then here's Totem Pole Gifts. That was one of my favorite places to go when I was a kid. Oh, the A&W is still here. Cool. Let's go to the A&W and let's see if they have the burger that I want. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. So instead of going in there and being oh, you don't have them? Okay, I'm gonna go to my old job then. So I had to call from the parking lot and they don't have it. So I really think I'm gonna go eat at Ganley's. I really shouldn't, because you should never work in the kitchen in which you eat at. But I'm sure things have changed since, God, how old was I? 14? So we're talking nearly 20 years ago. Okay, let's go eat at Ganley's. So I'm parked on the street by this DQ, which does not have my burger, so we're not gonna eat there. I'm hoping that they're seating at Ganley's, but Nisswa is so busy. Shouldn't surprise me at all. We might end up just going into Baxter for food. My parents actually want to leave pretty quick, so I'm not gonna go see my cousin, unfortunately. But yeah, so we might just end up going to Baxter for food, but this is This is a lot. Let's go see if I can eat at Gately's. It hasn't changed at all. I actually really hit the spot. I was really in the mood for a burger. Awkward. But yeah, that was really good. It wasn't as good as I remember it being. I ended up having blueberry pie for dessert because the blueberry pie has been tainted with their blueberry pie has been tainted because I mean I'll get into that when I do my story time at some point, but if you guys want to hear that story. But the blueberry pie was tainted with like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, cold brain, man. Foggy brain from my cold. Manipulation. That's the word I'm looking for. Tainted by manipulation. So it kind of felt good to eat there just because obviously like I have negative memories about that. And I specifically didn't eat there for the longest time because of those feelings. But it felt good to actually eat there. Almost back to my car now. I head into Baxter and not into Brainerd because you have to go meet my parents. You have to go towards Staples to do that, and that is the opposite direction as Brainerd. So I had sort of planned actually because I'd be in Nisswa that if I got that I was gonna do like this mukbang telling you guys the story about what happened at Ganley's. But anyway, the food was good. It's not how I remember it, so obviously things have changed. They used to be super greasy, but these were like super crunchy. Like the buns were like toasted and super crunchy, and I don't remember them being that crunchy. I remember them being really greasy. So obviously they've changed things up a little bit. But yeah, so now we are heading further into Nisswa, kind of a different part of Nisswa, and then into Baxter. And hopefully I'll be able to find the second house technically I lived in, but it'll be the third one. I don't know. You know what? I'll probably be the second one we'll look for, and then because I know where the first one that I lived at, that'll be the last one we'll look at. Let's get there. So right up here is Schaefer's Foods. Is it still Schaefer's? Yes, it's still Schaefer's Foods. This is actually the grocery store that we would often go to when we lived in Breezy Point. Just because NFK wasn't really big enough, and this was closer than Cub. And look, they still have their water park, the Nisswa Family Fun Center. This is all the same now. 371 was only different through Pequot because they wanted to bypass Pequot, and then the very beginning of Nisswa. So what I'm driving on right now is what 371 always used to be when I lived here. So they never, I'm sure they've resurfaced it, but they didn't redo it. This isn't moved, this isn't different. It's always been a double lane right here, and it's always been like this. So anyway, let's go. We just passed one of my favorite summer pastimes, which was Card Country. I didn't think it was still open when I didn't get my phone ready. I thought it was gone. I think that every time I drive by. Oh, this one's fun. So this white building right here used to be a gift shop specifically for Beanie Babies. Remember when those were popular? Yeah, it was a store completely and utterly dedicated to Beanie Babies. It was called Finders Keepers, and it was completely about Beanie Babies. There are so many dead deer on the street. That's one of the things living here that was always really hard about driving as it was getting dark. We're dealing with having to deal with like the deer crossing the road. You always had to watch for deer. So here's Baxter. The book world is gone, which makes me sad because that's where I bought all my animal Like, I loved going to Book World every time a new Animorph book was released. But look at this. This is all like so built up now. What happened here? That was conceivably where I was going to get my new phone, but that ended up not occurring the way we wanted it to. This was the Arby's that made me fall in love with Arby's. I also actually almost worked there instead of Kelly's. So we're gonna turn this way. God, all of the essays are now speedways. Then there's 371 Diner. It's like an old 50s style diner. So where I lived, both my second and my third house that I lived in was right down here. The road was right down here. Where was it? I mean, it's still there. There is still a road, but you can't get to my old houses from this road anymore. But it was right here, Kirkwood Lane, right by this Best Buy. And then they added Clearwater, which is the house that forced my second house to be moved. So then we want to turn onto Clearwater right here. This used to be a Sears, like a Sears appliance, not like a Sears that people all know and love. I almost just saw an accident. Cool. Anyway, so this is Clearwater. And then the house that I lived in, it's right there. Oh my gosh, I see it. Ah! It's right there in the woods. That's it. That house right there. All right, so let's see if I can find where they moved the other house, because we can get there from here, from Clearwater. We just drove over where it would have been as I was showing you that house. The house that I used to live in was like right there. I remember when all of these houses were being built. My mom and I would actually sneak into them when they were just frames and stuff to like take a look at them and stuff. My gosh, and now think about it. They're all like nearly 20 years old. What? So weird. So weird. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think it's gonna be right here on the right hand side somewhere. I think. And I'll know it when I see it, because it looks the same. I mean, they've possibly redone the siding, so who knows. But like, I think. And I'll know if I'm wrong at some point. But if I'm right, then it should be on the right-hand side. Otherwise, I do not remember where it is, and I don't have time to go searching for it. Because my parents are already on their way to freaking Ferndale. So we're going to have to make this kind of a quicker trip, unfortunately. But I think this is right. Maybe not, because now we're not in a neighborhood anymore. But I thought I was on this street, but I could be wrong. I used to remember exactly where it was too, because like I used to drive by it a lot. No, that's not it. I used to drive by it a lot, and I also looked for it on Google Maps one time, and I found it on Google Maps. So I feel like I should know where it is, but I just don't remember anymore. And maybe they tore it down. Who knows? And I can't believe they actually moved it, because it was a split entry house. So I don't understand how they were even able to move it. But they moved it somehow. They were able to do it. I don't think this is right, because now we're just like in marshland. I mean, Minnesota, basically. But we're just in marshland now. And now we're coming up to a T in the road, which will probably take us up back to 371. This is probably where we were turned, where our Arby's is. Just don't remember where it is. It's somewhere back here. Unless it's gone, which is possible. Looks like the pinwheel we got him last year is still here in the light.
Oh, and so is the lights.
They're both still here. Very similar light. Put on the... Oh, yeah. Wonder if that light even still works.
Yeah, but
Replace it.
Joyce was saying that she didn't put the plant out here. Bernie was complaining that you put a plant at a grave that you never go to visit, that it just becomes a dead plant.
well, yeah, you don't put plants up here unless like my mom did for Teresa the first couple of years, but she went down every day and watered it during the summer.
So that was right.
Right? Oh God, yeah. Why you said it was right?
Yeah, I said I can't do that. I said we put plants outside all summer long.
Yeah, and for the most part, if it stays sunny and warm, or it stays, rainy, yeah, but you need to water it. 5 at that point, so yeah, you would have been born.
Yeah.
And she didn't know how to tie yet. And I had been trying to teach her how to tie. And as I'm saying those words, she is tying the cat by the neck under my chair, tying it to the chair by the neck with a scarf.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it'd make me.
Well, I was wondering why Dad was driving so slow. And I figured it was because he was remembering stuff, which is fine, because obviously that's why I wanted to drive through Breezy and Pequot. So... So was the front always like that, or did they close it in? So they took out windows? I wonder why they did that.
And plus, back when you were a kid, there were these 2 massive green trees in front.
Okay. I just remember the house. Like, I remember even the layout a little bit. Not a ton. I remember the house after that better, but I even remember, like, bits and pieces of that house. So why'd your mom move out of that house? A lot of stuff? Huh? Gotcha. All right. So we were talking about this blue house right here. That's the house that my dad lived in, and I've been inside that house because my dad's mom sold it after my grandfather passed away, and I was 4. Had just turned 4 when my grandfather passed away. So I don't know if we remember where it is. So but we got the thing right there. Looks like Dad's about to head over there to see where it is. Where his grandparents are buried now. So
Very good.
still don't have a stone for your grandma, huh?
We should. I should make a stone.
Yeah.
Okay, next year.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just in memory of.
Yeah, like a rock or something that she can
Yeah,
put,
I'm gonna do it.
and then we can put it up by your grandpa's stone, by great grandpa Broker's stone. You and great grandpa Broker had a good relationship, right?
Yeah.
And he's who we look like, right?
Yeah. Somewhat. The white
Very,
nose.
very, very German.
Well, he was 100% German, so he better be very, very German.
He just, what you would think is stereotypical.
I think that bush needs to come out of there.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Very
So next is my mom's grandparents. Only it's just like this is my dad's German grandparents. Well, German side, not his Norwegian side. This is gonna be my mom's Polish side. This is actually just Polish. So the rest of the graves that we're gonna go see are all my Polish family. So that's exciting. But yeah, so we're off, and it's gonna be a nice long drive this time because we're currently in Verndale, Minnesota, and we have to get out to Piers, Minnesota. So it's Pretty decent drive. Pretty decent drive. And then to Bolus, and then home. Polish cemetery. It's a Polish Catholic church. It's a Polish cemetery. All these last names are Polish. Pretty much.
Where is it?
Where is it? I thought you were going right to it. We went deeper in because we thought that the 3 times great grandparents were in this cemetery, remember? Are those fake flowers, you think?
When did she die?
1975, wasn't it? It was shortly after your grandpa.
Yeah.
So you're pretty young when both of them died.
Yeah.
Because what, you were...
I was in high school.
Yeah.
So who do you think put those flowers on there?
Honestly, I think they've been there for a long time.
Because they were here last year, too.
I think so, yeah. But my guess would have been like either Marion or the
Angles.
Gangle family.
Because you weren't their only granddaughter.
No. What are you thinking?
We could slide them around to the side or
Oh,
the back.
That's not a bad idea. And actually, they've got like spikes in them. We could...
well, I think they do this so that they're not
So they don't get rid
in
of
the way of the.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
But this one doesn't want to bend. I think.
All right, one grave left, and then we get to go home, finally. It has been 8 hours since we got to Cross Lake, and 3 hours before that was when we started driving. So, I'm ready to go home. We are in the last town we need to be in before we can just go home. I'm very excited about it. And we're here. Holy Cross Catholic Church with Holy Cross Cemetery right up in this perch up in her. And I'm so excited because then we get to go home and I get to have some wine. I mean, that beer was good, but like, I'm ready for some wine, bitch. Here we are. This is it, guys. But oh well. And I know they're along the back. They're over there. I see it. Another Polish cemetery. You know, growing up, I had no idea that Morrison County was just a big Polish community. You know? Huh? Yeah. I only just learned that actually earlier this year as I've been doing all of this earlier last year, I guess, technically. As I've been doing all of this studying up on the family history. Hang a right, Dad. This way. This way. Then I see their sons, and there's just a couple down. Actually, we want to walk on this side. There we go. Oofda. Right here.
So this particular one, you're all yours. So
Yeah. So this one over there, yeah, so Jacob and Christina is your great-great-grandparents. This one over here is their son, Jean, or Jan technically, pronounced properly. This is their son. And I'm not sure who these are, who these two are, but they must be related because I can't imagine, I mean, unless Jacob and Christina could only afford, or Christina, I guess, because Jacob would have already died. He died, Jan died a year after Jacob. I suppose I'm going to say Jan, I should say Jacob.
the Hyman's still alive though.
1878, still kicking. I mean, so is Christina.
Yeah, right.
1835, and still kicking.
Especially if they're dying 1900 though.
And we are homeward bound. Letting Dad back out, and then we're gonna go. But it is pretty cool because we ended up coming across a couple other gravestones that I need to look up because they were last names that are related to my mother. So I don't know if those people are related to my mother, but last names related to my mother. So I took pictures of those gravestones, and hopefully I can find them in the family tree somewhere when I start doing kind of the offshoots of the family. Because right now I'm focused just on the direct lines. So who are my parents' parents, and their parents' parents, and their parents' parents, and their parents' parents. I'm not doing siblings right now. So, but somewhere down the line, maybe I'll run into those people. And I mean, obviously they're no longer with us, but it'd be kind of cool to find them in the family tree. Because I am so obsessed with genealogy. I have been ever since I started doing this. Pretty much right after my grandma died, I've kind of been obsessed with figuring out my genealogy and figuring out my family tree. And eventually I'm going to do a DNA test. And I know they're not like super scientific, blah, 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 blah. But most people that take them who know their history tend to get the same results. So I have a feeling that it's, you know, scientific enough that I'm okay with it. But anyway, so I'm excited. And only as time goes on, they're going to get better and better and better at testing stuff. So I'll get more precise answers as time goes on anyway. But yeah, so I'm excited. At some point, I'm going to spend the money on that. I just got to like spend the money on that. Anyway, I'm so excited to be going home. We're going home, have some dinner, and drink some wine. I think we're going to drink wine. Mom might make vodka tonight. I don't know. We did just visit Polish family, so it might be vodka. We are back on 94, heading towards the Twin Cities. Very excited. Today has been a long day. I'm ready to be home. It's just so funny because, like, whenever we do a trip like this, whenever we go up to the Brainerd Lakes area, I always think, on the way there, I can't wait to be home. Because that's home. You know, the Brainerd Lakes area. Breezy Point, Pequot Lakes, Cross Lake, all that, that's home. And then on the way home, I'm like, I can't just wait I just want to get home. Because Twin Cities is home too now. So it's very strange. I have two homes, and I can't wait to get to either one of them. But as I'm leaving the other, I can't wait to get out. So. Oh my God. So it's 7 o'clock. 5:30, 6:30, 7. So 13 and a half hours later, and I'm finally home. Oh my gosh. And Cobalt is seeing, okay. I have a problem I gotta deal with. So we're gonna end this vlog here. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And if you guys like this, Subscribe for more. If you guys want to know more about my geeky side of things, check out my main channel. I'll link that at the end of this video. And I'm gonna stop a thing from happening. Bye. Cobalt, you cannot kill the feral cat. You cannot kill the feral cat. Let the feral cat live her life as best she know how. I need to put my shoes back on. All right, let's let the feral cat live her best life, okay? Let the feral cat live her best life. Yes, she comes here. Yes, you can deal with it. Okay, cat? You're fine.